Hey guys, let's talk about Alice Walker's Everyday Use. This is a story that is written in the postmodern literary era, so it's a little out of order in our syllabus, so think of this one as postmodern rather than modern. And I want to talk to you about this story in light of the characterization notes we discussed and discuss a little bit of irony as well. It's very easy to think of this story as being about Dee, the successful college student who has come back to visit her family. First, let's look at the way Mama sees her two daughters. Maggie has always been there, always been with her mother. She is the quiet one, the less intelligent one, the quote unquote ugly one. She has never been the center of attention. She has never come first in anybody's eyes. Dee, on the other hand, has always made herself the center of attention. She's always made sure that she is dressed stylishly. She has tried to educate herself, and she has used that education to mock her mother, to put her mother and her sister down for what they don't know and don't understand, rather than sharing that education with them. So in the beginning, Mama is thinking about this visit from her daughter Dee, anticipating Dee's arrival, and she imagines a scenario in which she and Dee are on television, and Dee is welcoming to her and loving towards her and appreciative, and acknowledges her mother's role in helping her get where she is today as a successful, fashionable young woman. But the reality is that's just not part of Dee's makeup. That's not who she is. She doesn't recognize her mother's contribution. She's a very independent young woman, and her reason for coming home is to take away artifacts from her family's home to display and to show people that this is where I was born, not because she's proud of that, but she's proud of how far she has come away from that. So immediately you see that the three women in this family do not view heritage and these quote unquote artifacts in the same way. Mama is the protagonist. She is the one who is telling this story. And the antagonist basically is Dee, or you could even think of it as Mama's perception of Dee, that she's never been able to view Dee for who she really is. So looking at the characterization, Dee's dress is loud, her voice is loud, her personality is loud. And Maggie is the polar opposite. She is soft spoken and shy and retiring. And there's a little bit of irony there when you look at their personalities in connection with their understanding of heritage and their understanding and appreciation of where they have come from. So Dee thinks of herself as an intelligent, educated young woman, and she is, but she is largely ignorant of all these things in the house that she wants to take. She doesn't see the connection between her given name Dee and the fact that she was named after her grandmother. And instead, she rejects that aspect of her heritage in order to connect with her African roots. She adopts a more African sounding name. I'm sorry, got an alarm going off. She adopts a more African sounding name, African dress, new handshake, a boyfriend who is in touch with some African roots, things like that. But Maggie, the one who is uneducated and ignorant in so many other ways, is the one who is in touch with her actual roots. She is the one who is in touch with her family and understands the significance of Dee's name, of that dasher and that butter churn and the bench, and most importantly, the quilts. Maggie knows where these patches came from. The family member who fought in the Civil War, the patch that came from his uniform, which they have got to be incredibly proud of, is part of this quilt, this dress, and this work shirt. All of these people who were important to her, their lives combined to make this quilt that Dee wants to take. So we finally see the shift in Mama's perspective, of realizing that one, Dee isn't just there for a visit. She isn't there to see her mother, to catch up with her mother, to tell her mother, I love you, I missed you, thank you for the role that you played in making me the success that I am today. Instead, she's there to rob them of pieces of their life, pieces of their memories. And you see this almost immediately when Dee gets out of the car and she takes a picture of the cow, and she wants to take a picture of Mama sitting on the front porch with their dirt yard, all the way up until the moment that she says, "You can't give these quilts to Maggie. Maggie's so ignorant, she would probably put them to everyday use." And that's the moment Mama realizes that that's exactly how they should be used, that her heritage isn't something to be hung up on a wall. It's not something to be appreciated from a distance. It's not something to show off. It's something that is and should be a regular part of her and her life. And she knows that that's how Maggie will treat it. And if those quilts fall apart, fine. Maggie knows how to quilt. And she will be able to pass down that heritage to the children that she is going to have with this man that she is in love with and she is going to marry. So what you see is Maggie actually has something that Dee, with all her success, with all her fancy clothes and knowledge, does not have, and that is contentment with who she has and her lot in life. She knows where she's come from, and she knows where she's going. Now, her future of marrying a man with mossy teeth, as the story says, may not be a life that Dee wants, but Dee seems destined to be discontent. And Maggie has found contentment in her life, and that is valuable. So Mama is the protagonist. Mama is a dynamic character, whereas Maggie and Dee are static characters. We know the most about Dee. She's the most well-rounded character. Again, because she is the loudest, but she is one who remains largely static throughout the story. She leaves in a huff because for the first time she's not getting her way. She's not getting what she came to the house for. All right. So I do want to talk just a little bit about the theme in that story. The topic is definitely one of heritage. So if you want to write about this story and you're thinking about the theme, characterization and irony definitely help you get there. Think about the different perspectives on heritage and, of course, what Alice Walker wants you to understand as an important aspect of heritage. All right, I'll let you go now. Have a great day.